would you rather see To Kill a Mockingbird or just part 2 of Harry Potter? And I'm like, for fuck's sake, dude, I'd rather see Harry Potter, but not the second part. So I guess we're going to have to see To Kill a Mockingbird, and I'm going to have to put on my game face and pretend like I like plays. Fuck it. Maybe it'll be better than I thought. I went in with, you know what I went in with? An open mind. So I remember when I said, I tried to read the book when I was a kid in high school, and it was just, that's just like, why are you trying to make high schoolers read that fucking book? And then we tried to watch a movie, and I'm like, it's in black and white. And I'm like, it's just not for me. I've seen The Rock, right? So I sit down, and the theater's beautiful. I mean, it's really small and intimate and nice. And we got great seats. She got great seats. So she canceled the Harry Potter seats, and we got great seats to this To Kill a Mockingbird play. And I'm like, all right, you know what? They're impressing me with the fucking niceness of the theater, and the theater was probably built in the year 4. So, and it's still upkept, right? Like, and there's so much gold, and it's got a big wooden set in the front, like right in the front, there's like this big wooden wall. And Kristen's like, is that there usually, or do you think? And I'm like, it's not there usually. It's fucking the set. It's going to rise. All right. And then we're going to see the more set that they have. And the play did the thing that, this is the most like fucking pretentious shit that a play does is right away. Right. This is how you know you're in for a fucking banger of a play, that no bones about it, just pretense city play. When a guy walks out before the wall rises and like grabs a guitar and like starts playing, and I'm like, oh, just start. When's it start? When the guy walks out or after the guy? Is this part of it or what? Start it when it starts, right? Is this going to be one of those plays where guys in the audience come from the back with lanterns and they're like, we're looking for him? And you're like, he's over there beyond us. Why are you with us? Did you pay $150 for a goddamn ticket? Go up there, dude. That's where you rehearse. Go near the guy with the fucking guitar that just literally sits there for 5 hours and plays the guitar sometimes for background music. I'm like, talk about it. Fucking, what'd you get paid? 40 pounds? And so the play starts, and I find myself judging. I'm in the biz, right? Okay, cool. I get it. I'll go acting in me corner, you know what I mean? Right? But I'm judging, but I don't want to judge. I catch myself judging right away. And I'm like, all right, you know what, dude? Stop. Just relax. You're in a fucking building that was built in the year 11. Right? Just chill. This is beautiful. It's ornate as shit. These actors, this is their job. They've rehearsed for the shit. And it's written by Aaron Sorkin. So I'm like, all right, we know his shit. He did like the morning show or newsroom or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, all right, I'll sit down and I'll watch his shit. And I remember I walked in with an open mind. So I had to catch myself. Okay, open-minded up. Let's keep your mind open as shit. So I'm watching the thing. And it's about this dude, Atticus Finch, that like is a lawyer, and he wants to like help this. The whole thing's about race. I don't know how much you know about To Kill a Mockingbird, but I guess you should, or whatever. People consider it. You're cultured if you know what To Kill a Mockingbird is. And it's about a black dude that gets on trial for raping this 19-year-old woman in this play, and the dad did it. It's incest. The dad did it of the woman, and he's trying to blame this black dude for it. And it takes place in like 19 whatever it is, 50, 40, 20. I have no fucking idea. But the clothes looked 40-ish, 1940-ish, 50-ish, 1950-ish. I don't know. Or whenever it was after the slaves. Whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know history, dude. And don't come here for history. You come here for the hard-hitting facts of today. And so I'm like sitting watching this thing, and it's all about race and the racial tension in the thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. I get why they rewrote this I get it. I get why Aaron Sorkin wanted to. I get, and I catch myself thinking, yeah, okay. It is, yes, I know what you're doing. You're hitting me over the head with it, but okay, I acquiesce. Yes. It is also still relevant today. Okay, you got me, dude. You got me, right? I started judging, but now with an open mind, I'm sitting here. Okay, I've got great seats. I'm enveloped. All right, I succumb. Hey, guys, I give up. Yes, it's unfortunate, but it's still relevant today. Okay, you win. Now that's 35 or 45 or 7 hours, I have no idea about time, in this play. I succumb to it, all right? And Atticus just wants to do good, right? He wants to respect people above all. He wants to respect people no matter what their race. He even wants to respect the dad who did this shit because he doesn't want to judge anyone because he can't, what he says, crawl around inside of their skin. Now, we've all been guilty of that, judging people. And it's what I was doing when I sat down in this theater that was built in the year 14. And his kids are mad at him. Atticus's kids, Scout and Finch, are mad at him because he's not fighting. He's not physically fighting. He's not yelling. Why respect these motherfuckers if they're racist? Why respect these people if they want us dead? And we do the intermission. Now, there are parts of the play where I'm getting emotional, but I'm keeping it at bay, right? The intermission happens. Of course, Kristen has to go to the bathroom because she's a woman and their bladders are the size of a dime. And she comes back with ice cream some fucking how. They weren't even serving it. And it starts again, the second half of the play. And I'm watching the play. And this play is now in the trial of it, right? In the thick of it, the second act. And the whole play, a lot of it takes place in the courtroom, right? And the jury is in the back of the room, like the furthest point from us. We're watching. And I'm, as somebody who's done plays and TV and as acting in his corner, right? I'm wondering why the director decided to put the jury in the back furthest part of the room, because that means that the lawyers will be talking to the jury and we will be looking at their backs most of the time when they're talking to the jury. And I found that, I thought, interesting, and I thought I judged it wrong. I thought that's wrong. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they make us a part of the jury? We would seem like we should be more involved in this scene and all of these scenes and in this play. I think it would be better. That's me judging. And there's a part where Atticus Finch needs to give his closing arguments, and he was up all night writing his closing arguments. And in the beginning of the play, there's a scene where Atticus says to his client, they're going to ask you why you went in to help this 19-year-old white girl with her chores. What are you going to say? And the accused says, well, I went in because I felt sorry for her. And Atticus Finch says, never say that. That is the worst thing you could possibly say. Say she looked like she needed a hand. So later on in the courtroom scene, and one of them, when the prosecutor is grilling this man, the accused, and he says, why would you go in and help a 19-year-old white girl with her chores when she has 7 brothers and sisters? And he says, I wanted to help her. I wanted to give her, she looked like she needed a hand, just what Atticus said. And he says, oh, come on, why would you do this? And he keeps grilling him. He says, I wanted to give her a hand. She looked like she needed a hand. And he keeps asking. And Atticus Finch is like, objection, he's asked 5 times now. And then the prosecutor says, why would you do this? And then the accused says, because I felt sorry for her. And boom, just like that, as an audience, we know they lost the case, right? We know, oh shit, why is that bad? We may or may not know, but we know that he was instructed not to do it and he did it. And now it looked like they were winning the case, but all bets are off. So Atticus Finch, before his closing arguments, decide to rewrite his closing arguments. He was up all night. Scout Finch's daughter tells us, as the audience, hey, he was up all night and he couldn't figure it out. And right before he gives his closing arguments, he's looking at his paper and he fucking rips it up. So now I'm like, sup? Right? But in a different way. Not in the same way as I saw The Green Knight. And I was like, this trite Hollywood piece of shit sucks. So sup, what you do in Hollywood. I'm like in Britain watching this play. And I came in with kind of an open mind that started closing again and then checked myself and opened it a little bit more. And now I'm like, oh, he ripped up the paper that he rewrote all night last night because he wants to get this accused not guilty because that's truly the truth. And so now I'm like, well, sup? And I'm involved. And so he rips up the paper and he talks to the jury. And he's talking to the jury. And his whole thing is he's saying like, you know what, yada, yada, about I was going to say this and I was going to say that. And the truth is times are changing and this, we can start to change if you make him not guilty because we know he didn't do this and we know who did. And he starts going on about how the world needs to change, okay? And he's yelling at this jury. And this is like the first time Atticus Finch, you really see him kind of like yelling because he's a calm person, the character. And he's yelling at the jury. And his back is to us. And I'm still thinking, what the fuck? And he starts talking about how the world is this certain way. And he starts walking around. And now he walks all the way around to the front of the stage. And he's still looking at the jury, so he's very close to us. And he turns around to us as he's talking. And he says, now I'm already, the emotions are right behind the face, right? And he says, as he turns around, the first thing he says is, we can't keep living like this. If we keep living like this and tearing each other apart, we won't be able to survive. And I'm like, I literally sink in my seat because I think, oh, fuck, I'm not just going to let tears out. I'm actually going to whimper. Because I'm like, he's talking to us, but also he's talking to me. And I'm like, is this even the actor? Or is this the character? Or is this just the guy? This could be me saying this. Dude, and when I tell you I whimpered because I had to keep I go, ooh, 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 ooh. Like, I'm not fucking with you. I go, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like the biggest bitch in London. Just, ooh, ooh, ooh. And he starts saying, when the mob comes after you and you're, and it's unjust, and I'm a squeaky door in London, dude. And then he turns back around and starts talking to, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Thank God, dude. I was going to cry I was going to have to grab onto the stranger next to me and just be like, is it okay? And he starts talking to the jury, and now he's at the jury, and he turns back to us from the back. And he's saying to us, you know, I told him not to say he felt sorry for her. I told him to say he wanted to help her because she looked like she could use the help. And in that moment, you talk about breaking, and the prosecutor was trying to break him and trying to make him forget who he was. He says, that's what I thought, that he was going to forget who he was. But he didn't forget who he was. He remembered! And I was like, oh, word! And the tears just went fucking... Dude, out of the cosmos. Oh, he didn't forget. He did the exact opposite. He remembered. Are you fucking shitting me? Walls down. Dude, I am affected. I walked out of that play, and when I tell you, I waited at the side door for the actors to come out to tell them thank you. I don't mean I waited for a few minutes. I mean, I waited till they all came out. Dude, I stayed crying the night, dude. Oh, I walked out of that theater and I walked in a judgmental place and left and actually thought, you know what? If we all just tried a little harder, maybe we can change the world. That's what I actually thought, like a bitch. I mean, dude, if bro, I'm a play guy. I saw that shit and that shit really affected me. I mean, dude, I get it. If I was a dictator in a country and that play came out and I was trying to control the citizens, oh, dude, that would get banned immediately. I would take one look at that play and when he said, well, he didn't forget who he was, he remembered, I would stand up and I would say, execute them all. There would be no more art. I'm different now. I'm going to more plays, dude. I mean, I actually couldn't fucking believe how good that play was. And it was the highlight of the trip, dude. I whimpered, tears came out like a fucking Japanimation cartoon. I mean, dude, I cried like Lucy and Snoopy, you know? Mouth all open, tears fucking shooting out. And it gave me like this new outlook on life. I don't know if it's even for a little bit or what, but like, dude, it made me think like, fuck, man. We should all be a little bit more like Atticus Finch. And then afterwards, Kristen was like, we should, when we have another baby, we should the middle name should be Atticus. And this was an intermission. I'm like, let's see how the rest of the play goes, you know? And then at the end, dude, with tears in my face, I was just like, Atticus it is.
Crazy, 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 crazy. Congratulations.